Hey guys, today we're making a card using the Floral statements. This is not a new stamp set. It is still available in the annual catalog. It was carried over, but it's a stamp set that I've been wanting to work with because I love the floral images. So I've been wanting to color those. We're also going to be bringing in this stamp set. This is a background stamp set called Sheet Music. We're going to be bringing in crumb cake ink. And I have my ink dauber as well. Let's see what else. Oh, and my crumb cake ink card base, which we'll be using. And then for my card panel, it's going to be very vanilla. Now, I already have my card base kind of temporarily adhered to my Mini Misty. With background stamps, it fits perfect in the Mini Misty, but you don't want to put your paper to the edge, because then when you stamp down, you may have like a border where the stamp was not able to stamp. As you can see, the stamp doesn't go all the way to the edge. So we're going to go ahead and ink this up really quick. And I'm using the Mini Misty because it is a big stamp. I can stamp multiple times. If you have a Stampin' Up! Stamparatus, that is perfect. I have a Misty and another stamping tool, so I don't have the Stamparatus. I don't need 3, at least not at the moment, so I'm just sticking to what I have. And again, I'm using crumb cake ink. I'm just going to press down. If you don't have a stamping tool at all, what I would suggest is you leave your stamp up and then you ink it up, and then you take your paper, whatever your paper is, and then put it down. Get a piece of like typing paper and then go over that. You'll get a better impression that way than if you take the stamp and stamp on the paper. Hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and ink this up again because it didn't stamp out all that great down here. Okay, looks good to me. I'm going to pop this up, put this aside, and then I'm going to take some just scrap paper. And I'm going to take my ink dauber. I want this to look a little aged. And this card is A2 size, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. And the panel is 1/4 of an inch smaller than that. And I'm just going in with crumb cake and just inking up the edges. You could also distress the edges if you take some scissors, or if you have a distressing tool and kind of rough it up so it does look a little bit aged. Even more aged, I mean. You can curl the corners. And so there we go. You can add as little or as much as you want. I kind of like it to just fade as it gets to the center. And this is very vanilla. Did I say it was very vanilla? I don't even know. So there's my panel. Let me put this aside. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake card base. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. I'm not going to adhere my panel down because I may use some ribbon to embellish it, and I don't want to adhere it down just yet. So it would go like this though. So I've gone ahead and I've used some basic black ink and I've stamped my image. Go ahead and stick this on paper so you can see. So I stamped my image in basic black ink, and this is the thanks one. And I used my Brother Scan and Cut to cut out the image. Now, my Brother Scan and Cut works perfectly, but sometimes, especially with intricate images, or if the line isn't all the way solid, it messes up. So right here, we have a little flaw. And what I'm going to do is, it's not a big deal, nobody's going to know. I'm just going to trim it right off. So it looks like part of the stamp. So, okay. Now I'm going to zoom you in, and I'm going to go ahead and color this with my Prismacolors. Obviously Prismacolors aren't Stampin' Up, but it's the only colored pencil I have over watercolor pencils. Originally I was going to use the watercolor pencils from Stampin' Up, but the watercolor paper I was using, I could not, for the life of me, get a solid image. Let me see, do I still have them? So here's an example. I couldn't, I mean, it was, the floral was pretty good. My issue was the A. I could not get a solid image, so I changed up my plan. So, you know, if this doesn't bother you, this did, the A. Like, I could deal with the K, it's a little splotchy, that's fine. The N, I could go in with a black pencil and kind of darken it up, but the A really bothered me. You can see the difference. So I just changed my mind, and we're going to use my Prismacolors. So as I'm coloring, this stamp set's really great because it has shading on it. So I'm going over really light with a lighter layer, and then I'll go and build the color up and use darker layers. But like where these black spots are, I'm using that as my shading. So that's where it'll be the darker colors. Okay, and then after, I'm using 3 different colors for the flowers. So this is my lightest color. I did all over in this color, then I went through and did some of the shading with this, and then I went back with this one to kind of soften those lines, and then I did this one just now, and then I'm going to go back with my lighter one and just kind of lightly go over the whole image, just to kind of soften the lines. Now, is this how you're supposed to do it? I don't know, but it's just how I do it. And then I will take a black Prismacolor, and I will go over these lines because the colors dull out. The colors dull out the lines, but that is how it looks. I really like how my leaves turned out. Flower's good. So I'll go ahead and go over some of the lines to kind of darken them up in black. You can also, like if you don't cut this image out like I've done, if you use the stamp positioning tool and after you color it, you can go back over with your ink and try that and see if that works. I know it works really well like if you use alcohol markers. I don't know how it would stamp on the Prismacolor. So let me sharpen my black and then we'll go over the lines. Alright, I don't think I'm going to add anything. So I'm going to go and use some Stampin' Dimensionals, pop this up, and then go ahead and adhere it down. I'm going to go ahead and add some gold faceted gems just to kind of sparkle the card up a little bit. These come in gold and silver. And there is that card. And then here is another card I made using the Hello stamp, and there I did use the ribbon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. The supplies will be listed below. Remember, if you place an order, please use the hostess code, and any order over 50 will get a free gift from me if you use the hostess code. And new customers will receive a new catalog. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.